Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Please keep those coming in. If you've been watching on TV, you can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. We're even every Monday morning on our website, turnpikesports.us. We're right on the homepage. Audio, you can catch us on Samsung Podcast. We are also on Amazon Music and Pandora Podcast. This week, state and national reports. We've got our final top 10 states by handle for September.
September, huh?
September.
Oh, boy.
Thanks to Kentucky. We've also got records to talk about in both October and November still.
Okay.
And we're also going to be talking about some December numbers as well. So we're doing the entire last 4 months of the calendar this morning.
So basically, we're on pace. Maybe March of 2024, we're going to get the final numbers of 2023. Is that the schedule we're on now?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Over in the deals segment, we've got golf deals. We've got tennis deals. We've got a pair of wager wire deals, one involving fantasy sports, and we've also got U.S. Integrity doing another deal as well.
Great.
Industry updates. We've got Simplebet announcing their numbers for the college football season of 2023.
It was a great one.
We've got a bunch of licenses and launches to talk about, as well as a stock announcement.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
we
right.
don't normally talk stocks, but
that's okay.
We're doing business, so we got to talk some stocks here. So.
Well, some bettors call themselves sports investors.
Yeah.
So
good luck with that.
They're stretching that one a bit.
Yes.
But okay, whatever.
And then we're going to finish up with our legislative roundup. We've got news coming out of Vermont, Georgia, and Delaware.
Delaware, okay.
There's an odd trio for you right there.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going to start our state and national reports right after this.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-479-3522. That's 800-479-3522. 800-479-3522.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. We're still talking September numbers because we had a few stragglers release their numbers late. We actually have been waiting for Kentucky just to do the final numbers.
Kentucky, I can forgive.
Yes.
I mean, they just started, in September, right?
Yes.
And they're doing September and October numbers.
Well, Kentucky made up for it by throwing out 2 months' worth of numbers. So good for them.
All right.
But the top 10 for September. This is September
Top
2023.
10 states for
top 10
handle.
States by handle.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is number 1 New York?
Yep.
Come on, let's stop going there. Now number 2 is a little.
It's always going to be one of two.
I want to
states.
say New Jersey.
Yep.
Ohio.
Nope. In Illinois.
Where's Ohio in this one? I guess Nevada would be there.
Yep.
Where am I? 4, Nevada,
Yeah.
and 5. Is it Pennsylvania or Ohio?
Pennsylvania.
It's Pennsylvania. Okay.
The rest of it, 6 through 10, are Ohio, Arizona, Virginia, Colorado, and Massachusetts.
Oh wow, Massachusetts hitting the top 10. Huh?
They've been constantly in the
Okay.
top 10
All right.
since they've launched. So, but we actually in next week's episode, we'll be talking about a record they just set.
Okay.
So,
All right.
staying with October, we've got Colorado reporting their October numbers. 10th state to pass $1 billion in gross gaming revenue. 7th state to pass $14 billion in all-time handle. State also recorded at least $500 million in total handle for the 8th time in its history. All of that happened in the last 20 months. Colorado is table tennis.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, when you talk about Colorado,
Yes.
you know I'm going to ask a question about table
Yes.
tennis because they love their table tennis in Colorado.
I was disappointed in the table tennis industry in October
okay.
here.
All right.
It stopped being the 7th most bet on sports, now the 8th. And they broke their string. They had 3 months straight of at least $12 million in handle.
Well, look, I mean, September, October, you start.
Maybe there is a season.
There's the winter sports coming in, especially in October. In
Winter ping
October. Well, yeah, I guess. Well, I guess that's an all year round table tennis season.
I'm being a little facetious
I don't know,
because
but-
they didn't make $12 million; they hit $11 million.
No, well, look.
And only 3,000 of it was done retail. Everything else was online.
Okay.
Illinois also released their October numbers. Illinois set an all-time sports betting highs with $1.16 billion in its monthly handle,
Okay.
$112 million and some change in adjusted gross gaming revenue.
All right.
Records for both.
Okay.
Going over to Kentucky, like I said, Kentucky released two months worth, September and October. We've got total handle for those 2 months, September and October, $340 million. 813,000, some change in terms of handle, total
Good numbers.
revenue, good
Yeah,
numbers.
Good numbers.
$56 million for handle, for revenue, and $7.9 million for taxes.
Which is the big one for
Yes.
the state.
Fanduel led everybody for the 2 months, $131 million, to DraftKings, $124 million.
That's handle?
This is handle.
Okay.
And then we have Bet365 coming in third.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
that's an unusual one to see Bet365.
Yeah, I know. Usually when you get a state, it's
Yes.
FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, or Caesars. But no, it's good to see 365, Bet365.
Moving forward in the calendar, we're going to November now. We've got Tennessee releasing their November numbers. 14th state to pass $500 million monthly handle.
Yep.
They also recorded back-to-back all-time handle highs. Previous month in September was a record. October was a record. The November here is a record.
By the way, Tennessee's online only,
Yes.
too. So,
Also, the state had reported for the third time in its history at least $9 million in tax revenue.
Great.
Over in Maryland reported their November numbers. We've got a monthly record in terms of handle. We've got $497 million wagered in December. The previous one was $497 million in December. They just beat that by passing over $500 million.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. It was also the debut of ESPN Bet in that state. They launched in November 14th, so it's half and half between Barstool and ESPN. Not bad numbers, but not great numbers.
Okay.
But we'll see what the full month is next month.
Sure.
Over in Iowa, we have State of Iowa reporting their November numbers. Year-to-date handle past $2 billion. All-time revenue past $500 million.
Okay.
BetMGM also passed the $500 million mark in all-time handle in the state of
All right.
Iowa.
Good for Iowa.
Over in Indiana, we've got November numbers from Indiana. State of Indiana became the 6th state to pass $14 billion in all-time handle. $14,336 million. State also reported record handle of $513 million. Previous one was January of 2022.
Wow. Okay.
So long-standing record just fell.
that stood for a while.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Also, the second time Indiana passed $500 million in handle. So kind of interesting to see that.
That's
there.
interesting. Usually when you have like a state record, it beat the record from 2 months ago or something. But that's an interesting length of time.
Yes. And ESPN Bet was present in Indiana, and they had 5% of the total handle, which is a good showing by ESPN. Bet.
Yeah, no, it probably helped set
Yes.
the record.
Yes.
So.
Last notes here are New York related.
Okay.
Last week we talked about New York setting an all-time monthly handle record in terms of, I think it was 2.1
billion or
Yep.
some crazy
They
number
added
like
to
that.
it.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
The 2.1 billion we talked about last week was online only. You throw in the retail, which added another 13 million in terms of handle, and it's now 2.122 billion.
Okay.
Not much of a difference,
All
but
right.
enough.
Well, hey, you know.
Yeah, so they continue to add on to their record there.
I can't imagine what the number. You'll see a boost in the numbers because in the next couple of years, there's going to be New York City area casinos, and I'm assuming they're going to have sports books. So
Yes.
I can't even imagine the insanity in Midtown Manhattan when there's a sports book there and at a big sporting event. The numbers are going to be astronomical.
And also, they released their numbers for the week ending December 10th. As we're recording this, DraftKings hit $20 million in revenue for the fourth time in its history in the state. Fanduel also passed the $20 million mark, but this time for the 18th time in their history.
Wow. Okay.
So FanDuel is running away with that market.
Yeah.
They've been flip flopping lately, but really FanDuel
No,
has been in control
FanDuel's,
of that
you know,
market for a while.
FanDuel has had
Yes.
very good success in New York. So
That's it for the state and national reports. Let's head on over to some deals. We're going to start off our deal segment in North Carolina. Now, last week we talked about ESPN Bet becoming the official sports betting partner of the Wells Fargo Championship and also Quail Hollow golf course there.
yes.
A couple days later, Wells Fargo canceled their, or terminated, I should say, their sponsorship of the golf tournament there
Interesting.
at the
Okay.
Quail Hollow. But we also have FanDuel coming into the picture because FanDuel announced an agreement with the PGA Tour, not a specific place, not a
Okay.
specific venue, not a specific tournament, but the PGA Tour in and of itself. They now have market access for a sports betting license in North Carolina. No financial terms of the deal were disclosed. No term length was disclosed. Usually these are 10-year deals.
What we should say about North Carolina, in order to have market access,
Yes.
a sports betting operator has to have a deal with either a sports team or a sports venue.
Yep.
So that's why you're seeing these flurry of deals coming from North Carolina.
It also answers the question of whether or not you have to execute a separate deal for North Carolina with these organizations. Because they already had the deal with PGA Tour, but they executed a new one for North Carolina.
All right.
So, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the formerly titled Wells Fargo Championship, because there's no title sponsor now.
Okay.
Could it be ESPN Bet, which
sure.
is
Look,
Quail
I mean,
Hollow,
yeah.
or will it be FanDuel? Or will
Well,
it be one of the other sports books that come in?
Certainly, it's going to
Yeah.
have something. So,
Because
you
that
know,
satisfies the
well, first
requirement.
off, it's such a big tournament
Yeah.
too, so it's okay.
We got a couple WagerWire deals to talk about. WagerWire announced that their bet trading functionality is now live on Station Casino's STN Play app.
Okay.
Basically, STN Play is their online casino, but also has a sports book attached to it.
Yeah.
So customers now can buy and sell their active sports bets on the app throughout the duration of whatever event they've been betting on.
I read a story. STN Sportsbook and Racebook. Was that the Durango? The opening of
It's
the
every
Durango?
Stations casino.
Okay. All right.
STN is Stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But also, this one is interesting. This is the first time I've heard of WagerWire doing this. They now have announced a deal with the social bet with Spark-It, which is a social sports betting network. They will be doing their WagerWire transfers and marketplace with Spark-It as well.
Okay. Good.
Then they have another announcement for fantasy sports.
Oh wow.
We've got
Busy week.
Yes, they're going to be. They'll be launching its trading functionality for the upcoming NFL postseason with Real-Time Fantasy Sports, which is an organization that does fantasy sports, obviously.
Okay.
So what people are going to be doing for the first time, it looks like, if you have a fantasy sports team, you can buy and sell that.
Wow, that's great.
That's going to be interesting to see
That's
how that works.
interesting.
I've never
Boy,
heard of that
Wager
before.
Wire is getting a lot of work done just
Yes.
before the end of the year, huh?
Got to get it in there.
Yeah,
Gotta
under
get
the
it in.
wire there.
A couple tennis deals to talk about. We have Sportradar doing a deal with Tennis Data Innovations, which is a joint venture between the Association of Tennis Professionals and ATP Media.
Yes. Yeah.
Multi-year deal for broadcast and streaming rights and data. Then we also have Stats Perform doing a multi-year contract with the World Tennis Association.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be doing that for leading tennis tournaments like Wimbledon and
Great.
also the Davis World Cup.
Oh, okay.
So kind of interesting to see some of these tennis deals going on. The Sportradar one is a very, very, I guess, encompassing deal in terms of data and media rights and broadcasting. So it's going to be interesting to see how the two tournaments expand under these deals.
Sure.
And
Everything's streaming now.
yes.
So, by the way, and you're going to see all these streaming deals and streaming rights and things like that. So.
And also, last note is U.S. Integrity, Tipico Sportsbook, and U.S. Integrity
I saw that.
announced an extension of their ongoing partnership to integrate Prohibit
Okay,
into
great.
the current deal they have between the two.
That outstanding work they're doing. U.S.
Yes.
Integrity is just doing amazing things in the industry.
That's it for the deals. We'll start talking industry updates right after this.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. We're going to start off talking college football. The college football season just ended for 2023.
Well, we got some bowls.
We got the bowl game, but the
going.
regular season for college
Yes.
football has ended.
Yes.
And with that, we always get an announcement at the end of the regular season of these leagues from SimpleBet.
Mm-hmm.
According to SimpleBet, they announced the completion of, and I'll use their phrasing because I want to get this correct for them, record-breaking 2023 college football regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Micro betting providers saw increases across the board, taking over 3 million bets during the regular season.
Well, look, I mean, the micro markets are such a great thing for the sports betting industry and the sports betting markets. I mean, it's just going, and I think it's just going to get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've also, their handle rose 120%.
Wow.
Compared to the previous season. Industry updates. Let's see. We've got also continuing along here. We've got Indiana Gaming Commission unanimously approving the sports betting license transfer from PointsBet to Fanatics.
Okay.
It's still the company, the casino they're tethered to is the Hollywood Casino, Indiana.
Okay. All right.
Kentucky Sports Betting Catalog has added a few new sports to their menu.
Any weird sports?
No, Athletes Unlimited, which is basketball, lacrosse, volleyball, and softball.
All right.
TGL, Tigers' new golf league, which won't be launching until 2025 after all the...
what the hell is going on?
The stadium that they built had a flood. Destroyed all the equipment.
Technical delays and stuff like that.
H2H Global Gaming League and NBA 2K basketball.
Okay.
NCAA volleyball.
All right.
And UFC Contender Series.
Good. Okay.
The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission also approved 9 more sports wagering service provider permits, all of for 2024. Now, all of 9 of which were authorized on a temporary basis earlier this year, so they now have their finalized licenses. Also, what this means is Circa, Bet365, BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, Fanatics, and Fanduel are clear to conduct another year of business.
Great. Good for them. I'm waiting for Circa to come out to Jersey.
Well, they're still working on things.
Yeah, they're not in the East Coast yet.
Well, I think it has something to do more or less with financials, because Jersey is still one of the more expensive ones to get into.
Okay.
But also what the approval of these 9 sports operators mean, there won't be any more new sports books in the pipeline for the near future.
I think also Circa needs to do a deal with one of the companies in New Jersey. You know what? I think, isn't that one of the things for New Jersey? It's usually a hang up for a lot of providers that don't have a relationship with.
Yeah, they don't have an online only thing for some of these. So, but right now,
I want Circa in Jersey. That's my. I keep putting that out there.
Well, Circa has not launched in Kentucky yet. They will launch at some point, but right now they have 8 licensed operators of the 9 licenses in operation right now.
Great.
Flutter announced that it will begin trading under the code FLUT on the New York Stock Exchange January 29th.
Wow, okay.
Yep. They'll continue their stock listing on the London Exchange, but will remove its listing in the Euronext Dublin Stock Exchange.
Okay.
Over in Connecticut, we have a brand new sports book.
Yes.
Following their deal with the Connecticut Lottery, Fanatics Betting and Gaming soft launched both their retail and online sports betting app in Connecticut.
We drive through Connecticut a lot, so I have not seen the billboards. I haven't heard any advertising or seen any advertising in Fanatics. So I'm assuming I will very shortly next time I go through Connecticut.
They did a soft launch previously here. By the time this airs, it's a full launch.
Okay.
This is their 9th state for Fanatics. They're moving quick.
Yeah, no, it's great. They're doing an amazing job.
And also, you're going to see retail locations, and they gave the list. Bobby V's in Stamford and Windsor Locks.
Wow, okay.
That's Bobby Valentine's place.
Yeah, we drive through Stamford. Yes. Sometimes we drive through Stamford.
We've got Sports Haven in New Haven.
All right.
I guess that's kind of makes sense.
What are they doing, 95 all the way up?
Winners in Hartford,
okay.
Manchester, Milford, New Britain, and Waterbury, and then the XL Center.
Wow.
Will also be a Fanatics location.
Nice. Okay.
I got to see this XL Center.
I see it from like the road there. I mean, what highway is that? I don't even know what the highway is.
It's 95.
Well, no, 95 is on the coast. Hartford,
that's 84.
84.
Yeah, so. And also Arugas in Shelton.
By the way, that's a sports bar. There's
sports bar and restaurant.
There's one about like 10 minutes from where we're sitting in New Jersey.
Actually, it's on the campus of our alma mater, Trenton State, or College of New Jersey. To present day. Yeah. We went Trenton State.
Yeah.
That's it for the industry updates. Let's finish up with our legislative roundup. Finishing up this week, we're going to New England. We're going to go up to Vermont. And with Vermont announcing that they will be launching January 11th, 2024 of their online sports wagering industry, we now have all of New England, every New England state, 6 states in New England, all having some sort of online or in-person sports wagering active and operating.
That should do very well, because in Vermont, either you're going skiing or you're doing nothing.
Yes.
So, because the winters up there are pretty difficult, pretty rough.
Well,
and it's online sports betting.
It's
too.
only they don't have any casinos.
Yes, so.
I think they have a lottery.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, they don't have any other gambling whatsoever.
Yeah.
They are expecting $7 million in tax revenue in 2024.
I think they'll get that. I think
for what the state is, yes.
I think they will. I think they'll.
They've got 3 operators
well.
already licensed, ready to go. You got DraftKings, Fanduel, and Fanatics. But I'll tell you, I'm starting to see Fanatics everywhere.
Good for them.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
So they've got 5-year contracts, and they'll be doing renewals every year as well as the initial application fee. So there was a good chunk of change coming in for Vermont. Sure. Pre-registration already opened for all 3 of these books in Vermont. And this was interesting about the sports betting law in Vermont. They do allow for college sports. It doesn't allow for in-state college sports betting unless they're in a tournament.
Okay. All right.
And the tournament can be in the state.
Okay.
Which is very unusual. That's a step forward.
What's the big? I don't know. I don't think Dartmouth is a big sports school, but I always see the Vermont. Was that the Catamounts?
Catamounts of Vermont.
Yes. In the basketball NCAA March Madness. So.
Down in Georgia, we've got State Senator Brandon Beach announcing he will be filing a sports betting and casino expansion bill.
Good.
Or actually a casino initialization bill because they don't have casinos there either, and parimutuel betting too.
Oh, okay.
Or facilities.
Good.
Yeah, so it's a gambling expansion. It still needs a constitutional amendment.
That should do really well in Georgia.
I think so.
I think it'll be
I
great.
think the horse racing would do well down
Atlanta
there.
is such a great town.
Yes.
So the casino will only enhance it.
Can you imagine
one more thing to do in Atlanta? How about that?
Can you imagine a casino in Buckhead?
Oh my God!
They would clean up there.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see exactly what happens with Georgia. They've been trying the last couple of years. It really hasn't panned out for them. So we'll see if this new package in January actually works.
Okay.
Last entry for the legislative roundup, we got Delaware. Delaware's Internet Sports Lottery Legislative Working Group. There's a name.
Whatever
for
the
you.
hell that is.
They released their final recommendations regarding sports betting. Now, they already have sports betting there in person.
Yeah.
They're talking about online sports betting.
Well, look, Delaware was initially a sports bet. They were like Nevada.
grandfathered in.
Even before 2018, you had sports betting in Delaware. Yeah. The problem is it was parlay. Thing.
Parimutuel and all that
it was parlay.
It was only parlay betting.
You had to do parlay betting. So,
but they were grandfathered in with PASPA.
That's actually one of the first sports books I ever been in. Being from the East Coast, you go down to Delaware. I didn't bet anything because it was all parlay betting and stuff like. I was smart enough even then to not do too many parlays.
Dover Downs had a nice sports book,
but it was a restaurant too. So.
Yeah, well, that was like basically the model we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah.
They recommended an online sports lottery, which is basically online betting. Online sports lottery operator skins, multiple skins, tethered model with the existing video lottery agents. State should also protect the horse racing industry. That's always a good thing to see, and additional resources for problem gambling. Right now, everyone's looking at if they actually go through with this, opening it up to multiple skins and operators, what happens with the contract they have with Rush Street?
Yeah.
The Delaware Lottery has only one contract in place, and that's Rush Street.
What's interesting about Delaware and online sports betting, I mean, they're familiar with online gambling because they have online poker, so I'm surprised it takes them that long to do online sports betting.
I think
that's one of the weird states are. Poker's fine. They don't have online casinos, but they have online poker.
Well,
but,
a lot of states are resistant. I mean, Mississippi is still resistant to online sports betting. As a matter of fact, they just had their task force recommend online sports betting statewide, and some of the legislators are saying this is the next step or the next step closer to online gambling, which we don't want.
Okay.
So they're against the online sports betting still.
Okay.
Going to be interesting to see all these different states in 2024. Georgia seems like the most likely one to take a step forward. Mississippi, maybe, I don't know. And Delaware, who knows?
Yep.
That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep those coming in. Been watching on TV. We have a ticker flying by us below with additional news stories we didn't have a chance to cover in this half hour. And you will always see a full print version of the book report covering the stories we did talk about and stories we didn't have a chance to talk about in our show each week. print version on the blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button, and you'll see the full print version released after the Monday morning broadcast of the book report.
And that'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.